Welcome to Mayor's Minute on Castanet.net. I'm Dustin Godfrey, and as usual, I'm joined by Mayor Andrew Jacobite. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to talk a little bit about a new pot shop on a new dispensary on Main Street, but first we're going to get into Cougars and coming into the city. It seems they've been coming in a little bit more frequently of late. They've been drawn in, it sounds like, by urban prey like deer. So is this the time now to be considering maybe a deer cull in the city to help prevent these cougars from coming more brazenly into the city?
Well, actually, the cougars have been the best source of culling the urban deer problem. Unfortunately, they are moving more into the populated areas. And just recently, last week, having a mother and 3 cubs being visible during the day, and I think that helps escalate the matrix level that the Conservation Office uses. They tried to remove the kill and the kills of what the cats have been hunting, and also haze the animal out of that area. The animal returned to a similar part of town the next day, and again, more daytime sightings and very brazen. And no sense of fear to the conservation officer to people, and also that was something they were teaching. She was teaching to her cubs, and certainly that put the public a lot more at risk. And I think that's why the conservation office was forced to euthanize the cats. And it's unfortunate, but it's also a reality of that interface from animals into the urban environment, and urban deer certainly has been a problem in our community, and that's something we got close to one time. We tried to do a pilot project with the Indian band here to sort of trap the animals here, the deer here, and release them on the reserve. And then there was a changeover at the Conservation Office, and we sort of had to go back to square one. It is the province's jurisdiction, and they have a large set of rules around what you have to do to be able to have a call or to transport, relocate the deer. And so it's not as simple as it sounds. And then also, to some people, they're very cute and cuddly, and so they get up in arms if you want to do anything about them. And if you look in the East Kootenays, City of Invermere had 6-figure lawsuits from animal lover groups, animal rights groups, I should say, trying to protect the rights of the deer there, and so it became very expensive and divisive in that community. And again, opportunities for us to do something here is not as simple as it sounds, and subject to the province.
Sure. So now I wanted to get into the new pot shop on the 500 block of Main Street. It kind of brings up the question again. Did the city treat fairly those who waited until there was an option for the city to kind of regulate it? Did the city treat those who came in at that point fairly?
Well, certainly a temporary use permit is at the discretion of council, and acknowledging that we are in these realms of gray in terms of trying to regulate or allow the sale of marijuana or medical marijuana. Council looked at trying to have some access to medical marijuana. That's why we approved 2. And until the federal government comes forward, and I think once they deregulate the sale of marijuana, there's going to be no shortage of applications. So I think it circles back to ensuring businesses, have sort of that good corporate policy, and you would think a good corporate policy for any business is to comply with the city bylaws or have a business license or a temporary use permit. And again, when we have a swell of applications coming for us in the future, I think that's what council will be looking at for businesses that have that sort of strong community and business values or ethics behind them. And really, for those who did not get a temporary use permit, really they should be waiting until more legislation comes into place, because it really will be up to municipalities who deal with the zoning and regulations and locations of those businesses. And in the meantime, we've only approved 2, and whether some people like that or agree with that rationale behind council's decision, that is council's decision. And right now, for the next, I would argue, 4 to 6 months, they should abide by that. And those who operate without a business license or not under the blessing of City Council will be subject to by law enforcement, which starts with written warnings, then it goes to weekly fines, then to daily fines, and eventually injunctive action if no change is made.
Sure, and that kind of brings me to my next question. You mentioned when federal regulations do come in, will opening up at this point for the Okanagan Cannabis Solutions on Main Street, will that hinder their applications later on when federal legalization does come around?
Well, I think, again, there'll probably be no shortage of applications, and so it'll be really up to council to sort of decide and look for companies that are, showing good corporate policy and good corporate citizenship, and sort of want to be able to demonstrate, not just a level of professionalism, but some community and business values and ethics that would align with other businesses in Penticton. And so, I think when you have a wide array of applications, you get the chance to sort of cherry pick a bit the cream of the crop, or the top applicants. So whether that will hinder or help, hard to say.
Sure. That's it for this week. You can send your questions to letters@castanet.net, and that's been this week's Mayor's Minute with Mayor Andrew Jacobite. And for Castanet News, I am Dustin Godfrey.
Thanks.